First question comes from the line of David Smith of Portland Tribune.
Yeah, hi Chip. Watching the Stanford game again, sort of saw the significance of the Jarvis Lewis hit on Owusu and then Eddie Pleasant's return on the fumble. Can you talk about the significance of that? Did you really see that as maybe one of the top plays of the game?
That was kind of garbled. On what play?
The fumble.
The fumble play?
James Lewis.
Yeah, obviously anytime, they had a drive going and you can create a turnover, and turnovers are key. And then we practice that every day of scooping and scoring, and you can create a turnover at the 50-yard line and take it back to the 3. It was a big momentum changer in that game, yes.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, on the phone, if you wish to ask a question, please press star, then the number 1.
Okay, Maria, we'll go back to the questions here. Those in the room. Sam?
Yeah, talk a bit about the progression of Cliff Harris since the start of the season. I mean, just how much better can this guy get for you?
Cliff can get a lot better. I think Cliff flashes. He's still inconsistent at times. He's got great ball skills when the ball's thrown in his area. He does a tremendous job of that. He's got to do a better job tackling. He knows that. He's got to do a better job securing the football in special teams. We've had 2 lost balls in 2 weeks. So there's improvement from every facet. But he's not like any other player in our program. He's still a young player, still a sophomore. Missed preseason camp a year ago. And I think he's got a lot more left in his tank that he can give us. But it's more about consistency from Cliff now. Right now, he flashes as good as any player we got, but he needs to be more consistent.
Rob?
Your 3-on-2 period today that you keep score was real close at the end, and I think Nate Costa sort of peeked back at the clock to see how much time was left. I wonder, obviously he's a competitive guy and you have a competitive guy on your team, but just the benefit of creating situations like that on a daily basis to kind of make things more competitive.
Yeah, that just tells you, kind of what this program is all about. It's based on competition. And a smart heady move by him. He knew what the score was. It was either he gets in, it was on him. If we complete that last one, we were up. But if we complete it, we win it. If it's incomplete, the defense wins it. So it's part of what you want to do. It's almost kind of what it's like in a game. If it's 3rd and 3 and we need to just get a first down, we don't need to take an unnecessary shot down the field. It's learning how to manage a game. You're putting them in a unique situation that you can't get unless you put a score on it and other things like that. That's what I would expect with probably 2 minutes to go in the game. It's 3rd and 3, and we need to get one more first down to win the game. I'm not thinking about, am I going to throw the ball down the field based on the call. I think the play call was a quick out and a fade. How long are you going to hang on the fade with 2 minutes to go in the game, and all we need is a completion for a first down. And that, putting kids in that competitive situation shows that. And that shows that Nate, who had a great day today in practice, was firing the ball all over the place, understanding the game of football. And that's what practice is all about, trying to put guys in competitive situations that when they come up in a game, it's like, I've been here before, I kind of understand what we need to do in this situation. It would be in the same situation if we were down, we double the points if it's a touchdown. And if we were down 4, I would be disappointed if he threw the 5-yard out. Why'd you throw it up? Well, I got to throw it up because it's the last play. So now he's got an understanding. But as many times as you can replicate things like that in practice, because you're not sure how it's going to happen in a game, you got to be prepared for it. And he did a really good job of that today.
Steve?
Coach, this is another one of those games like a couple of the others you have where people expect you now to win, but impressive. I know you don't think about that going in, but how satisfied would you be with, say, a 1-point win in a game like that?
Not going there, brother.
Why not?
Well, because that's not what this program is built on. And you've heard me talk day in and day out. We don't deal with outside expectations. I've had people tell me that last Saturday was a statement win. It wasn't a statement win for anybody on this football team, I can tell you that. We expected to win that football game. We don't let people govern us outside us, whether we're losing and people say that you're not supposed to win games, or you're winning and you're supposed to win them by that much. Last week I watched Trevor Matich all week long talk about how physical Stanford's football team was. When I walked down here today, he was talking about how physical our football team is. People go yo-yo up, yo-yo down. If you control yourself by outside influences, your head's going to be spinning. We don't care about outside influences. We prepare against division, and That's what we've been doing today. We had a great practice yesterday. We had to continue to have a great practice today, but it means nothing unless we have a great practice Wednesday, and then a great practice Thursday, and a great practice Friday, and then we'll find out if our preparation was good enough when we play our game on Saturday, and that's it. There's not a predetermined score. They've got nothing to do with it. We don't get caught up in any of that. Never have, never will. Just because things are going well for us right now, we can't all of a sudden change our whole philosophy and what we do. That's not what it's all about. So.
Do you recognize though that you're higher in the poll because people think
We have not talked about the polls. I say that every day. We've never talked about a poll. You tell me who was second, who's third in the country, or fourth in the country last year in the second week of October. Do you know? Because it means nothing.
Rob?
Follow up on my last question. I wonder too, obviously, the competitive situations help you every day in practice, but I wonder, is there carryover into game day too? I mean, do guys really have to raise their level, or does it keep kind of mentally, does it help provide an edge?
I think it does, but I think it has to be tempered. It's a really good question because you can't have every single period be that, because all of a sudden it wears off and there's a dullness to it, and that's there has to be, it's got to be sprinkled in there, and I think we do enough one-on-one work, with that 3-on-2 drill and our 2-huddle deal where I think we're trying to get as much good on good, but you can't go good on good all the time. Number one, if you go good on good all the time, how do you develop the other players? Everybody, well, we got to go ones versus ones. Well, then only 22 players are getting practice. What happens to the other guys? How do you develop that depth? The other thing is if everything has to become a competition, then you lose the luster of getting ready for actually what a game is all about. So, even when we're in camp, and there's a method to the madness, is not every day is a competition. If you did it every day, it wears off. You go to Dairy Queen every day and get a Blizzard. The Blizzard doesn't taste as good on the 6th day. You know what I mean?
Tell you that.
You get one, right? If you get one once a week or once every 2 weeks, then all of a sudden there's a reason or there's a method behind it. So
you do still want game day to feel.
Yeah, game day's got to be different, and that's what it's all about. And it's about peaking, and that's how our practice is set up. Is that we practice hard on Monday, and we're in pads, and I don't know how many people are. And we're a full go on Tuesday, full go on Wednesday, and then Thursday becomes a walkthrough, and that's our recovery day. And then Friday we start to fire back up. So by the time Saturday comes around, we really feel like they've got their legs back, but they also have their edge back. We've been sharpening the sword, so to speak, in Thursday's practice from a mental standpoint. But our last physical football practice on Wednesday. But for us to get the right amount of physical reps in, we got to be in pads on Monday, and we're going to be in pads on Tuesday, and we're going to be in pads on Wednesday. And so there's a method to the madness.
John?
You're talking about outside distractions, and there's starting to be a lot on your team and on Michael in particular. Did you learn anything from 07 dealing with Dennis from a psychological point of view, just to kind of deal with that?
No, not really. To be honest with you, because he got hurt before it really got really big, I think. And the one thing when you guys interview him and you talk to him, that Michael James is as focused as a player that I've ever been around. And as he told me, the only thing he cares about is being an academic All-American. He didn't care about all that other stuff. And I really, my whole philosophy, and I don't care about it either. And I think it's an insult to Heisman Trophy people that vote. Did you have to tell them about who the Michael James is? I heard Andre Ware say that once on ESPN, and I was like, thank God. There's a guy that has a vote. I don't think you have to tell Andre Ware who the good players in the country are. And if you do have to tell a Heisman voter who the good players in the country are, maybe they shouldn't be voting. So we'll stand on the body of our work. If he happens to get mentioned in it, that's fantastic. But he's not like that. I'm not like that. It's a team game. I'll take what happened to us last year. We went 8-1 in the league, and we were the Pac-10 conference champs. We had one kid make all conference. You ask anybody on our team, would you rather make all conference or would you rather win the Pac-10 championship? This group of guys right here wants to win a Pac-10 championship.
How close is Michael to that academic?
He's doing very well in school. I don't know if it's 5 semesters or 4 semesters of over a 3.0, and I don't know the exact criteria, but I know that's a goal of his, and he'd be able to give you a little bit more specific on that.
George?
As long as we're talking external stuff, do you care what people think about your sideline demeanor?
About my what?
Sideline demeanor.
I care what my sideline demeanor is about.
Do you care what other people think about it?
No.
The reason I asked, got a couple of emails about people who were upset with you, for whatever reason they emailed me, about, I understand why you were upset. I got that, I got the explanation. But they were upset with the fact that you looked very upset and dropped the F-bomb, they thought, as they were reading your lips several times. I wonder, does that bother you?
Yeah, you have to be able to behave a certain way, and you have to control yourself. I believe in that, but that's about me, not about what outside people think about it. It's what I think about it.
So you feel like maybe you should have done that? Would you like to moderate that a little bit, or?
We'll see how it goes. Watch next game. We can't, though. It's not on TV.
It's not on live TV.
That's fine. Then you can edit it out. And the cameras are intrusive, obviously, in some ways. They focus on the coaches and players and get really close. I mean, are you any different?
But I
Are
don't
you-
coach to the cameras now.
Correct. Were you any different the other night than you are any other
No.
time, or just?
And I argued to call in the Portland State game.
Just didn't, nobody captured it quite the same way.
Maybe you guys didn't think that game was as important as we thought it was.
Okay, fair enough.
Chip, and this question may have been asked, and if it is, I'm sorry, but when is a team having an illegal substitution in a huddle?
I don't know.
Are there any?
I don't know the answer.
Is there anybody you know that I could ask that would know that answer?
Kim?
I want to know, if do you have a personal record for how many days in a row you've had a blizzard?
I've had a blizzard. I don't know if I've ever had 2 in a row.
So you
I
don't
do
really-
like blizzards, but
you
I've
don't
never-
know if you had them 5 days in a row.
I've
or
never
6
had
days.
it. I don't think, I would say maybe 2 in a row would be the individual record.
I got
They're
that.
not usually open at 11.
Maria, go back. Are there any more questions on the phone?
There are no further questions on the phone at this time.
Okay, thank you, Maria. Any other follow-ups?
What's your blizzard?
What's
What do you get? I like
What
Butterfinger.
flavor?
I would go chocolate with Oreo cookie.
Yeah. I think with that, we've covered it all. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.